doesn't work. It says it's live now.
Here, my
I'm going to hand this to our volunteer there, so you just flip it around. Nope, you got to, there you
just
go.
Like
you got to hold it like that.
And you can even sit in your chair.
Yeah, I have a very annoying wallet case. It's very handy when I'm, especially like running around conventions like I'm doing today. Yes, I am Emma Fyffe. I am one of the creators, producers, hosts, etc. of Love and Justice, a serious Sailor Moon podcast. I am also on the Sailor Moon Crystal After Show at AfterBuzzTV.com. Great, because I just shoved pizza in my face, guys. There you go. So you see how my day is going. So I have the distinction of being 30 and being on 2 Sailor Moon podcasts, which I feel is a real life achievement.
Winning.
Yeah, I also think I'm a professional Sailor Moon fan because the Biz Media accounts follow me and they send me stuff, so that's my story.
We can put it on business cards.
Yeah, exactly. Professional Sailor Moon fan.
And this is Lola Binkerd.
Hi everybody, I'm Lola Binkerd. I'm an actor, I'm a writer, I'm the third of Love and Justice. Currently I'm finishing up a really stupid project. It is Boxcar Children fanfiction. Hopefully I'm going to have that as a freebie prize for future cons. It's even weirder than it sounds.
And last but not least is our special guest today.
Yay, Taliesin Jaffe!
Hi, I'm Taliesin Jaffe. I'm a voice actor and voice director for anime and video games, and a curmudgeonly old fan from way back in the 90s, from like back in 1991. So I got to watch this as a fan, and have been a fan of Sailor Moon for a billion years before any of you were born. and we've coined the term for a male Sailor Moon.
Yeah!
Drunkenly last night.
Yes.
What is it?
Boy Scouts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations to all people in the room. You are now Boy Scouts.
Yeah, that's the official term for Taliesin Jaffe. So Taliesin being an old, a classic Sailor Moon fan, shall we say, I think leads very well into our first topic of discussion, which is the origin of Sailor Moon, which was of course the manga, which ran from December 1991 through February of 1997 in Japan. It was published in Kodansha, serialized by Nakayoshi Magazine, and it was an expansion of a one-shot story called Codename Sailor V, which was of course written by the creator Naoko Takeuchi. And basically her editor, when she was kind of coming up with this idea, was like, well, what if you did like a whole story, like a whole team of girls that wore cute sailor costumes and fought bad guys and saved the world. And so from Codename Sailor V, she kind of expanded that into being Sailor Moon. So the first character that was actually created was Sailor Venus. Who's my favorite.
She's gonna get smoked because that's her favorite.
She's my favorite.
And these little red, you have little red.
I have the little red
in
my ears. Yeah.
Put them on your eyes.
I know. I actually have some.
Put them in her eyes?
Yeah, and put them in my eyes. No, I was at LOJ, which is the Labyrinth of Jareth Masquerade Ball, which is like nerd prom basically that happens in LA every year. I cosplayed. I was Princess Sailor Venus, but because it was a masquerade, I made the Sailor V mask too.
How did I miss you?
I don't know. I know. Yeah, seriously. But anyway, yeah. So Sailor Moon was basically an expansion of that, and that of course it was 52 acts in 18 volumes, and that was the original Sailor Moon story as we know it. So it covered the Dark Kingdom story arc, and the Black Moon Clan, and the Deathbusters, and the Dream arc, and ultimately Sailor Stars.
Yes. But not the the 90s anime series got progressively different.
Yeah, because there's no Doom Tree in the comic, kids. That was just a way to buy everybody time. That Doom Tree, that Alien On thing with the aliens, and they're kind of brother and sister, but they're kind of dating, but they're also trying to cheat on each other with people from the other Sailor Scout cast. Sorry, Sailor Senshi cast. This doesn't pay my bills. I can say Sailor Scout. That's all made up. That was all made up for the 90s show.
I mean, like they had a good reason for it. We were coming off the cusp of a lot of things. One of them was Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which if there's a textbook definition of why you don't follow the manga precisely, it is Dragon Ball, the TV series. 8 pages over 22 minutes is a painful thing to watch. I don't know how anybody does it. Throw something in there, please.
No, it's very, very true.
But speaking of 90s cartoons.
Yeah, so basically, and of course the manga is what inspired the 90s anime series, which is how many people, especially in the US, were introduced to Sailor Moon, because this was the first localized Sailor Moon content that we got. It was 200 episodes long. It aired from March 28th, 1991 through February 8th, 1997. It was animated by Toei and aired on TV Asahi. And at the time, all of the animation staff at Toei were men. So Naoko Takeuchi has gone on record as saying she feels that the 90s anime has a slightly more male perspective than the manga does. There's a little bit more that sort of errs on the side of fan service, though it certainly never gets as out of control as the majority of shonen anime do.
You mean like Kill la Kill?
Well, no, Kill la Kill I like though, because Kill la Kill is intentional and it's equal opportunity fan service.
Oh, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Gunbuster would have been a
Yeah, Gunbuster.
Yeah,
That's a
there
really
it
good
is.
example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or First Angel Show. But it's also where you get a little bit of the stuff that's one of my least favorite things about the 90s series, which is like, what do girls talk about when they're friends? Oh, well, they call each other fat and then fight over the same boy, right? That's what teenage girls do.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? And they all high five each other. And then they're like, oh, we're so good at writing girls together. We're so good at writing teenage girls.
Yeah, it's definitely a little different from the manga series, and for me personally, so in the U.S., you know, we got X amount of the 90s anime series. Basically, they initially dubbed up to like the end of Sailor Moon R, and then for a long time we didn't have anything else. But at that time, they published the manga. Vixen Tokyo Pop did. And they published all the way through the end of Sailor Stars. So like I read the whole story via the manga before I ever saw the whole anime series. And so then to try to go back and watch some of the stuff in the 90s anime series, having finished the manga, I was like, what is happening? This is totally different.
See, and I'm from a small town in Oklahoma, so all I got was the TV series. I didn't even know there were comics.
Yeah.
So now I'm getting to read comics and watch what we'll get to later, which is Sailor Moon Crystal, which is basically a page-to-screen adaptation, and I'm learning all kinds of things that they changed and that was different and that should not be there.
The first time I ever saw manga, I didn't know what it was, and I read about 10 pages the wrong way. And I was like, and then like another kid in the Barnes and Noble aisle just took pity on me and was like, you're doing it wrong. It's like,
It's so fascinating to hear this from the other end of things.
Yeah.
I'm like, I was on the other end of this tunnel, and it's so odd to hear from this.
To hear from the perspective of somebody that was like all about the manga?
Well, no, it was interesting because I was the youngest kid at the Anime Con in 1991.
Right, of course, yeah.
Because the average age of everybody at the Anime Con in 1991 was like 25 to 35.
Yeah.
It was an older
That
crowd.
makes sense.
It was 80% white, 20% Asian, and 95% male.
okay, excuse me.
Yeah.
And I was the youngest member of the CFO at the time. I was the youngest member of Cal Animag at the time. Like they're to the point where they're like, we don't even know if it's legal for you to be here. and the culture was completely different. It was completely different. We didn't have published manga. We didn't, and like the anime was just starting to trickle in and become a thing.
Yeah.
And then Sailor Moon was the most interesting and exciting thing that happened to Sailor Moon hit, well, first of all, it hit Japan and we got the fan subs. This was back when fan subs were very, it was very...
For the kids playing at home, because I see how young some of you are, fan subs is what had to happen when you didn't have a dub, but there was also nobody dubbing the stuff you liked, so people would get together and dub it themselves.
Oh yeah. And then how you would
and sub it themselves as well.
How you would get a fan sub, and this is how it would do, is that you would find a fan subber on the internet, which at the time was just text. It was just text, there was no web, it was just text.
Yeah.
You would send him a blank VHS tape with $20 in your address, wait 3 months, that's true. And then they would send you a tape filled with like fourth recorded over extremely scratchy video that you were supposed to use specifically for your college anime club.
So you thank God for Hulu every day, children. You like that.
We had to walk uphill both
ways.
Well, the interesting thing is that like Saint Seiya had just ended, which was kind of like pretty boys with magical armor fighting very seriously for the love of the goddess Athena, and which was I was really into.
Oh no, Emma wrote a crossover fan fiction of Saint Seiya and Sailor Moon.
No, it was your Royd the Samurai Troopers.
Oh, you're right.
Okay, and for a moment, I felt a very powerful connection to it.
I'm sorry, Taliesin.
Samurai Troopers was like just like an alien robot replaced my girlfriend. It was so.
It was Ronin Warriors.
Coming off of Saint Seiya, I was just like, where have my pretty boys gone? If you ever get a chance to delve into Saint Seiya, it's very, Ronin Warriors is very good to Samurai Troopers.
But for all that we had to struggle and endure to get our hands on Sailor Moon back in the day.
The fans did not embrace it. It was a very, well, the boys were like, there was like 7 of us who were like, thought this was amazing, and then everybody else thought we were very weird. And then, who dubbed it? It was,
No, it was Deke. Yeah, it's
Deke.
So you just made the most beautiful transition into the next.
Good.
So you're saying that you're a boy and they didn't think that you were going to like Sailor Moon. Yeah, these are some of the more ridiculous
I cosplayed
monsters. Oh, you did? That's amazing. Yeah, the 90s anime was notorious for adding all kinds of filler and having super bizarre monsters. This one
One of those is a vacuum.
Look at that angry crotch.
Angry snowman crotch. And I want to point out, if you haven't watched this episode, that snowman crotch changes expression depending on how she feels.
Yeah.
And that's not a joke, that's true.
But you can learn a lot from that.
You really can. Yeah, you can learn a lot. So we all ultimately got Sailor Moon in the US, but this is how initially when they took the footage from Sailor Moon and they were first working on dubbing it and trying to sell it to networks, this is the original proof of concept that they were shopping around, where they basically over-explain why Sailor Moon is going to be a huge hit.
Oh.
Get ready, guys. You're going to want to watch this show.
Guys, they obviously get everything exactly right.
Exactly.
In 1969, the first man stepped on the moon, and history was made. Now, get ready to make history again. Blast off with the most powerful series in 25 years, Sailor Moon. She took Japan by storm, and now she's coming here. Sailor Moon is #1 in France, Italy, Spain, Hong Kong, and Japan. And now she's sailing to the USA. Record-breaking ratings and shares. Sailor Moon is the last sailing to Bigger than Power Rangers and Turtles combined. We're talking Sailor Moon power. $1.5 billion of retail sales, and now it's coming here with massive sales support from Bandai. With Carmen Sandiego, Deep demonstrated that a female action-adventure lead can appeal to both boys and girls. Sailor Moon has the same universal bond.
That was exactly what you thought, right, Taliesin?
Girls love Sailor Moon's transformation from everyday schoolgirl to glamorous superhero.
That's exactly what girls want. As a girl, I can say yes.
Swooshing sounds.
Girls will love the non-stop action.
Boys will love the non-stop action.
This is an action-adventure series that will blow your mind. With powers granted by a celestial guardian named Lola, who takes the form of a black cat, and with the magic of her secret incantation, Moon Power, an ordinary high school girl named Victoria transforms into a superhero known as
Sailor Moon!
her friend Blue becomes,
Sailor Mercury! They named
her
her
friend Sarah becomes,
Sailor Jupiter!
her friend Dana becomes,
Sailor Mars!
her friend Carrie becomes.
Sailor Venus!
The sailors are aided by a mysterious stranger known only as the Masked Tuxedo. The sailors have sworn to protect Earth against the wicked Queen Beryl and her alien allies. They come to take over our world, and only Sailor Moon and her friends can stop them.
Moon power!
More than advanced worldwide can be brought. Blast off for the moon. Sailor Moon. Coming this fall from Deep.
Yeah. So that's what we could have had.
You don't have to clap. You don't have to.
That's dumb.
They're listening through the iPhones, don't clap.
Yeah.
Team runs everything.
Deke secretly runs
Yes,
Twitter.
sir.
Yeah.
Didn't Deke do the Legend of Zelda series?
I think they may have produced the Legend of Zelda series and Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, totally into it.
It's kind of characteristic of that company.
Yeah, no, it's so true. You're totally right in terms of with the deep up, like the sort of very character-y voices and ridiculous catchphrases
for the making the room, the aggressive swooshing sounds just made you feel like this was just like Ninja Turtles, right?
Yeah,
you were like, man, that was like,
I know exactly what I'm getting.
And then that sound was really
You guys
swooshing.
totally want to watch that. So yeah, that of course, ultimately, that won, and networks did decide to pick up Sailor Moon, which led us to the Deep Clover Way years. Sailor Moon first aired on Canadian television, actually, on August 28, 1995. It aired on US TV like the next day. It aired in syndication on many networks, many UPN networks, YTV, etc., etc. UPN canceled it partway through Sailor Moon R, as we previously discussed, and then they did eventually run it to the end of Sailor Moon R they ran it to the end of Sailor Moon R on UPN, but then there was like this whole big thing about like the lost episodes of Sailor Moon, and you saw it all, and they aired it all in order on Toonami, which was unheard of, because when I first started watching Sailor Moon in syndication, it was all out of order, and so like one day it would be like just her, and then the next day she'd have 6 more friends and a kid. You were like, whoa, that took a turn.
And they were like, oh, I like that guy with the top hat and the roses, and then all of a sudden there's a really racist Arabian Night looking guy also throwing roses, and you're like, is that the same guy?
Is that his twin? Is it a twin?
Yeah.
Looking up something.
Oh, Talison's looking something up right now. But yeah, so then Toonami picked it up, and it aired from June 1st of 1998 through May 3rd of 2001 on Toonami. Cloverway picked up where Deep left off. They used the exact same studio in Canada to basically actually physically like dub and produce the show. So a lot of the voice actors were the same, but a lot of things changed. And they also started making some questionable choices in terms of how they were editing and explaining things to make them, I guess, tolerable for an American audience.
I'm sorry, are you referring to lesbian cousins?
Well,
Well,
Yes, you are referring to
I am
lesbian
referring to lesbian cousins.
This is my favorite.
Yeah, so it was very confusing for me because I had already read all of the manga by the point they started showing Sailor Moon S on US television, and even when I was reading the manga, was like, what are they gonna do? Because unfortunately back then I was pretty sure they couldn't have lesbians on TV. So this was Cloverway's solution.
Oh, look! Here come Amara and Michelle. Oh, great. Why do you think they entered the contest? And girls and cousins, too. Amara and Michelle. Fantastic. You're the best cousins in the world. How'd you guys meet then? We're cousins. We grew up together.
We've been inseparable since we were born. We can almost read each other's minds.
I'm so embarrassed about Amara's already got a best friend. Her name is Michelle, remember?
It seems so long ago, my first kiss.
Not for me, Amara. It feels like it was yesterday. It was so magical. Oh, I remember it vividly. It was with Brad, the cutest guy in school.
Brad.
Not Brad. That's not Brad. That's not Brad.
Leave it to me.
Don't get it. Ooh, Robbie, meet me in the back. I'll explain it to you later.
Yeah. Okay, how many of you hang out with your cousins like that? And aren't characters on Game of Thrones?
That would be cool.
Yeah.
HBO Sailor Moon.
Your mom would let you watch it because it's Sailor Moon on HBO.
We can totally go then.
Yeah.
This works.
It's
did after that, but before that, she's like, no, they're lesbians. Like, no, they're cousins.
I
I was the one in the basement watching unrated, undubbed, or gory, bloody, and
Perfect. Yeah, same.
Stupid because we let her watch Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon and let her think it was childish.
There is some intense historical context for some of this too, because I hadn't really thought about
how much this changed so quickly. It was within my lifetime that the Incredible Hulk show ran on television.
Yeah.
Live action. Everyone knows that there was a live action Incredible Hulk show, right?
Yeah.
But there was no Bruce Banner. It was
No, it wasn't
David
Bruce
Banner.
Banner.
It was Dr. David Banner. Because Bruce was kind of a gay name. They literally changed it that people might think he was gay.
Wow.
Really? Absolutely. Well, that's how far we've come. That's hilarious. So good to know.
But speaking of live action and adaptations of content,
did you know there was a live action Sailor Moon show?
That was a good platform. How many of you guys have seen Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon? Okay, good. A good number of people in the room.
And how many of you are getting educated about it for the first time right now?
Like you've never heard of it before. Okay.
We have so much YouTubing to do.
Oh my gosh. So, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is the live-action Sailor Moon series. It aired from October 4th, 2003 through September 25th, 2004. It's 49 episodes, 2 specials, and a concert. Yeah. Which you can see the footage of on YouTube. Yeah, a mall tour. They did a mall tour. It was produced by Toei, who did Sailor Moon in the first place. It aired on Nippon Broadcasting. Naoko Takeuchi, the creator of Sailor Moon, was much more closely involved in this show. So, even though, it goes a little bananas with the story in a really, really good way.
Yeah.
Totally, it's much closer to the manga than the 90s anime series is.
And instead of having filler episodes where instead of having filler episodes like in the 90s where we go skiing when our boyfriend is kidnapped
and brainwashed,
these filler episodes are actually more for character development to actually, learn more things about the girls and get more emotionally attached to them.
If you skip 10 episodes of the 90s anime, you'll probably be alright. But if you skip 10 episodes of Pretty Guardian, you'll be like, what happened? We're going to be so.
Why is that ghost playing a piano?
Yeah, you'll be like, why is there a ghost playing a piano? Mercury's evil now? What is happening?
The prestige that Sailor Moon had gotten between those two, from the point where that animated series hit in Japan to the point where they were doing the live action series, it had cemented itself as a pop culture icon.
Oh, absolutely.
You could not take it seriously. People would have throttled you.
Yeah, no, totally. And I mean, that is the thing about Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon is compared to American TV shows, it is a very low budget production. The special effects are state of the art, really, actually.
And they hold up real well.
Yeah. So you're gonna see the cats guys are really not to be believed.
You know how when you watch Jurassic Park and you're like, those dinosaurs look just as real? Same thing.
Yeah. So this is the scene in Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon where Usagi first meets Luna.
Yeah.
State of the art. It still looks really
like
good.
a real cat, guys.
A PA literally just chucked that in your face. Phil, ready? Go on cat.
Wait.
Yeah. And they're like,
Oh, where did this cat come from?
Oh wait, hold on.
Wait for it.
There you go.
And there they go. They blew their entire special effects budget.
Yeah, for the rest of the show, they really just used the stuffed animals and puppeteered them. Yeah. But not good Jim Henson Muppets.
No,
I mean,
sort of
this plushie, and then they
I like to think of it as just like a really trippy Degrassi junior.
No, it totally is.
But they just gave up.
It is basically a soap opera that is largely based on Sailor Moon.
It's good though.
It is. It's really good. And just some more examples of the state-of-the-art special effects in the series. These are the transformation sequences. Obviously, they look like regular Japanese schoolgirls, and then when they transform, they look like their anime manga counterparts.
Which I actually really like.
Yeah, it explains why the bad guys don't instantly know who they are all the time.
hey, except for those 5 unique green people.
This is it's very Windows 95, isn't it? Yeah. Or if you've ever had Filipino friends who had a karaoke machine in their house, and for some reason when you're singing Ballroom Blitz, there's footage of Sweden in the background. It's like that.
That's like the creepy sky in the casino we were walking in last night.
I'm in panel room number 1.
From there.
We dealt with 30 years of Jeep Doctor Who all doing
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay.
Yeah. So beautiful.
You guys, the girl who plays Sarah Mars in this movie was also in Fast and Furious Tokyo Drift.
She's the girl with the laptop all the time.
Her name is Reiko. So she didn't go far. She's added code to that movie.
In my head canon, that's how she meets Haruka in the street racing scene.
Yeah.
That's how she does it.
Yeah,
Jupiter's is the best. Jupiter's is the best.
Actually, Jupiter's is pretty good.
Oh no, this is the winner.
Yeah,
But then you
but
put
these
the
are
on
thoughts. I don't really know why we get nail polish.
That's like some of the witches shenanigans right there. Like covered in
She's so much. She's awesome.
But honestly,
This is
This is what it's all about.
the best one.
She's such a legit pop star in this one.
yeah, she's a J-pop idol. I don't know. Oh no, it gets better.
Yeah.
When you need your hair to transform.
Just get your tiny ribbon dancers. I don't know about y'all, but the last time I dyed my hair, it was just like that.
You open the box and tiny ribbon dancers should fall out of your house. It's terrible.
Yeah. State of the art.
Give me clap for that. But yeah, guys, I know what we showed you was really cheesy and silly, and like, it is cheesy and silly, but you will start watching and you'll be like, what is this? And then by the end, you will just be sobbing. So I can't recommend Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon enough. And maybe my favorite version of Sailor Moon.
Yeah, and you can find every episode of Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon on thisdream.org, and they're all subtitled and they're all high quality.
Yeah, she does. She has really nice quality transfers of it.
It took me a few episodes to accept that it wasn't a cat, it was a stuffed kid. Like
Yeah.
as long as you just go, it's not a cat, it's a stuffed animal that somehow comes to life, which is a different thing.
That everyone pretends is normal.
Everyone is okay.
Which in a way is almost scarier than the top.
No, it's worse.
Yeah,
It's
it is
far
not.
worse.
And they like telepathically communicate. They don't like open their mouths.
The cat just goes like this.
Yeah. So it's a telepathic stuffed animal. So obviously, this it's a little silly. It's it's live action Sailor Moon, but you guys may or may not be aware. We almost had a live action Sailor Moon in the U.S. When Sailor Moon was first being shopped to an American market, Deke was trying to do what they ultimately ended up doing with the show. There was also a company called Toon Makers that had a little bit of a different idea of how Sailor Moon should be brought to a U.S. audience. This was filmed on like someone's camcorder back in the day. We just got this copy that was found out from somebody else.
Wow! Look at this. Look at this. It's like Blossom meets She-Ra meets Saved by the good now, though. Right?
Yeah, you can actually find the whole animation script for this show online. It's just for the animated segments. Oh, it was going to be interesting.
It's a deep dark pit.
It is. The address for that place, though, that they show in there, Lola and I used to live like right down the street from it, so we thought we would just like show up and maybe they'd have it like buried in a vault somewhere.
There was
Knock on the door and be like,
you actually, you don't know, they lose that stuff. And like, DIC, Saban Entertainment, and it was like, there was another one, like Zip Video and another one. They were like so incestuous with their licensing that like, no one knows who had what.
Yeah. No, it was definitely a thing that we're glad did not happen. Though apparently they did actually film a whole pilot. This is just a music video that was used as sort of like a proof of concept, promotional material kind of stuff. But Sailor Moon, of course, is no stranger to the world of music, as there are many Sailor Moon musicals.
Stage musicals!
How many of you guys are into the Sailor Moon stage musicals?
Yeah.
Okay, we got like 3 people. All 4 of them.
There's one,
We are.
you know the technical name for this, right?
Sailor Moon, easy got
No, I
it.
mean like the whole.
No, that is the whole.
Oh,
What is it?
Can I?
Yeah,
Can I
go.
Trust knowledge.
Takaruzuka Theater.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we know
Also
all
the new
that.
ones.
But those are the new ones.
Well, these were that was where this whole thing started with was the push for anime as adaptable Takaruzuka shows.
I see.
And those were pushed as
as like legit musicals.
well, you had all of these female creators in anime and manga,
Right.
but the production, there was this very, very weird thing. Okay, does everybody know Takaruzuka?
Yeah. Alright.
Okay.
For the people who don't, Takarazuka is a Japanese form of theater. It's a little reverse Shakespeare, so all the parts are played by women.
Yeah.
If you actually go to an academy, like it's not just I'm a woman and I want
No,
to audition for this role.
no.
You like
There is-
study
You
for
get in at like
There's
age 10.
a Takaruzuka Theater. There are other ones. There's the Takaruzuka
Takaruzuka
Theater
Theater, yeah.
that you perform, and they do more modern theater, like all the traditional Japanese opera theaters, and then they do like musical adaptations of The Godfather with an all-female cast.
Yeah.
or the Frank Wildhorn Scarlet Pimpernel musical.
Yeah, which is
was
on
all
right
Or
now.
a lot of anime. They do.
Yeah. There's a Rurouni Kenshin Takaruzuka. Which is nice. Yeah.
Theater show. There's oh god, the one that's great with all the French people.
Oh, Rosa
Versailles.
Yeah.
That,
Rosa Versailles is so good, guys. It's all the cards you should watch it.
But yeah, if there's any, they occasionally film these, and they.
Yeah.
Of course you have.
Yeah. Oh my god.
And,
No, that's amazing.
And again,
We know for us.
This is the source page.
Right.
yeah, we don't work for MissDream.org, but if you want to
It's a
watch the
really
stage
good
music,
source.
if you want to watch the stage musicals, she has those too.
Yeah. So that these musicals have been going on for years and years and years. Western fans are the ones who have kind of broken them down into stages based on who is playing Sailor Moon. So basically, a lot of them are kind of variations on the storylines that actually happen in Sailor Moon. Then there are things where they're like, oh, it's Sailor Moon S, but the whole thing we're just gonna replace with Dracula. Instead of having Professor Tomoe and Kalanite and all that, we're just gonna have Dracula and a bunch of minions, which sounds a lot more fun than it actually is.
No, because we ended up having Professor Tomoe and
Oh yeah, that's right. Oh no, it's Pharaoh 90 that they replaced
Yeah,
with
yeah,
Dracula.
yeah.
I tried. Yeah, oh, I got them all broken down. Yeah. Actually, Miyuki Kanbei, the third Sailor Moon, her entire run is Sailor Moon. I think Dracula was her adversary.
that poor thing, because that Dracula musical is not good.
Yeah.
Like when you hear about it in theory, you're like, oh, Sailor Moon versus Dracula, that's so bad, it could be amazing. No, it's just bad.
Yeah, it's so
It's just bad. It's 2 hours of nobody leaving a stage.
Yeah, I don't think
Someone left the stage once, but we think they just got confused.
Like
And then they come back in.
Nobody leaves stage. The set design is awful. Dracula makes no sense because like he's lamenting over his family, but I think his daughter is there, but she might be.
No,
his
she's
wife.
not. No, literally, granted, there's like 6 more Dracula musicals after this, and these characters do eventually show up. I think there's only 3, but there's a lot. But he literally spends the entire show talking about 2 characters who never appear on stage.
So you keep waiting for the plot to like, oh, his kid's
Oh, his daughter's gonna show up.
Oh, that's no. Oh, that's gonna be the judge.
You know what does happen though is
This is the only good number.
this fabulous number where the replacements for the Witches 5, the Manechas, that's it, Manechas. Nobody knows what those are.
They're bad, you know?
They disguise themselves as ducks for a while during the show, but they also all disguise themselves as Tuxedo Mask for this thrilling number. Oh, those capes.
Look at the flourishes.
The whip sounds.
Yeah.
They're really good.
Yeah, this is the best part.
Just all break out.
That's the appropriate face.
Yeah. You're like, I sure like this, but you're all wearing exceedingly sparkly capes. Accurate statement.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Here we go. Yes, we all speak in vague metaphors.
Yeah.
The world may never know.
Yep. A little more from that thrilling Dracula adventure. So of course, if you were going to go fight a vampire, naturally there are certain items you might want to bring along with you. Yeah. So Haruka and Michiru are like in the process of turning into vampires, and they've all come to rescue them. Yep, Scarlet. Yep, we got a crucifix. Yeah, those apples were so sparkly.
I mean, they're just fitting for Vegas.
Yeah, absolutely. They fit right in.
And then shake it at him.
Yep.
Shake it! Shake it bigger!
I don't know either.
No.
I don't know why either.
Yeah, nobody on stage knows.
And now when you watch those two scenes, you would think that this musical would be ridiculously fun, but it's not. It is not fun. It is not fun.
It made us angry.
We were so mad when we watched it. It is, I'm not even kidding, it is 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours.
I think at some point in my notes I just wrote, I feel like I'm dying.
Promise me you won't.
Yeah, we did it for a Halloween special on our podcast last year, and we all didn't enjoy ourselves as much as we thought we would. What we do enjoy, however, are the new iterations of the Sailor Moon musicals.
So this is the Takarazuki.
Yes.
The hardcore Tigers.
And this is what it was always intended to be, really.
I was like, I feel like they looked better than that. I'm like, oh, there we go.
Oh yeah,
There we
they do
go.
look better than that now. Yeah, if you guys have ever like dipped your toes in Sailor Moon before like the older stuff, and you're like, oh,
Those wigs.
yeah, those sparkles. Don't worry, the new muse are amazing. The reason that Lola and I watched La Reconquista is because I was just, going on a Sailor Moon internet binge one night. We were just researching Sailor Moon, and one of my obsessions is anything Silver Millennium and Dark Kingdom. So I was like reading stuff about the Shitano and all their iterations and all the various musicals. They're like, yeah, and then in La Reconquista, Kunzite was part of the boy band, and he went by the alias Kunza. I was like, I'm sorry, what, the boy band? So we found out that they were a boy band in La Reconquista and decided, oh, we really need to just like watch that scene. And we just kind of kept watching.
We're gonna take 3 minutes out of our day and just watch this number. And then we finished the number, we were like, you have to prep some 2.5 hours. We were holding each other.
It's pretty great.
Yeah, it is spectacular. Yuga Yamato, also known as Tani, plays Tuxedo Mask.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
I want to marry her.
She's everyone's sexual orientation.
But I'm already married. And I would marry her.
Sam will understand.
I know, I'd leave my husband for her if he met me. I think he'd get it though.
But yeah, the new music are just absolutely incredible. There's a new one coming out very soon that's based on the Dream arc.
Really?
Oh yeah. They announced the cast, all of the current cast. So all the girls that you see playing the inner guardians in this won't be in it. They've all graduated. But Tony's going to be in it.
People would write.
Yeah, people would write. And all the actors are still in it, so that amazing girl who plays Pluto. But anyway, here's a little taste of how far the Sailor Moon musicals have come. They actually dance now instead of just doing like a half touch. Which of course also culminated in a new Sailor Moon series, Sailor Moon Crystal, which does cover the, it is a more direct page-to-screen translation of the manga. The first 26 episodes cover the first 26 acts of the manga. There's 2 more episodes left of the current season, season 3, which is the Death Busters arc. That they stretched, they added, they split one act into 2 in order to make it 13 episodes, but it was good that way. I enjoyed it. And I mean, one of the things that is good about Sailor Moon Crystal, for anybody who did grow up reading the manga, is it is a more direct page-to-screen translation. So it's like, if you liked the manga, you probably like Sailor Moon Crystal at least okay, because it, I mean, you know. So that's all good. Did you have a comment?
Yeah, I just wanted to also notice that the animation is also more like the manga.
It is, yeah, the art style looks while in season 3. But yeah, so this is the good part of Sailor Moon Crystal. But you know, we mentioned the animation. While yes, it does resemble manga, or it occasionally leaves a little something to be desired.
Yeah.
If
Well,
you
that
don't-
might not be.
Yeah, that might not be as apparent to you, but how about now?
There we go.
Tomei was like, you know what, guys, we got that nostalgia factor.
If you guys ever want to see something really funny, go online and find the GIF of the Sailor Mars screen cap where she's on the bus and one of her eyes is slightly lower and someone has gifted it so that her eye just slowly melts off her face on the bus over and over again.
Yeah, they've been fixed since this happened.
Yeah, it looks a little better on the Blu-rays, and the Blu-rays are the English version of the Blu-rays, along with the Visdub of Sailor Moon Crystal, are being released August 16th, I want to say. Yeah, pretty soon.
Awesome, for my birthday. Great.
I haven't seen any of this yet.
I know, it's
I
totally
know.
cool.
Wait.
Watch it.
Yeah. I recommend waiting to watch the Blu-rays where the animation has been fixed. Yeah, because the animation can get painful in the first couple seasons. The third season is better though, animation-wise. They changed the art style a little bit. They're a little cuter now. Their eyes are a little more sparkly. It seems a little lively.
It's a little more of a blend, I think, between the manga and the 90s style.
Yeah, I agree. I really like the new animation. And one of the things that, you know, people really felt was missing, especially those people who really had only seen the 90s anime, was they were like, oh, it's so serious. And it's like, yeah, the manga's pretty serious and dark. Like, there's
Their skin melts off of
For
in the very first episode of the manga, when Naru is
when Naru's mom is replaced by Yoma.
instead of being like, your mother's not here right now, she says, your mother's dead, I locked her in the basement.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa!
The manga gets pretty dark.
Yeah, and I mean, skin does literally melt off of skeletons.
Yeah.
Like when Rey first turns up and she incinerates
Yeah.
Jedi, like he melts. It's very grim. But I was all about it. No, I love it. Crystal doesn't quite go there with the Crystal. Though in the latest episode with Mistress Nine, I got a little crazy.
Oh yeah, for those who are up to date on Crystal, that Mistress Nine face with the eyes that were like
bulging out of her head.
It was some body horror right there.
Yeah,
There was a lot. There was a lot happening. It was great.
But one of my favorite things about this is that we got proper lesbians now.
We did, yeah. Woo! Yep. All
I ever wanted was proper lesbians.
It's it's straight out of the opening of Revolution.
There's some serious attention happening.
Yeah, but I mean that was the thing, was it's like the animation, it is still not perfect. It is definitely better than it was in the first 2 seasons. And ultimately, one of the things that fans were like, it's so serious, we're missing the humor and the super deformity. They're using that sparingly and really well this season. And and pretty much everyone I know that was like, I don't like Sailor Moon Crystal for the first 2 seasons. They've now they like it now. So, granted, the story really gets better now anyway.
I need my outer senshi. I'm very excited.
Exactly.
That's something I need.
I think you'll really
Oh,
do
down.
this season of Crystal Taliesin.
I am glad they got rid of that awkward CGI.
Oh, in the transformation, I totally agree.
So much better.
Yeah, the new transformation sequences look great. I like the new attack animations as well. I do miss the amount of real-time attacks that we got in the first couple seasons. They didn't use stock footage too often, actually, and they've gone back to basically using stock footage. It does look really good, and don't get me wrong, I still really need to see Les Smoking Bomber in this animation, real badly. But yes, it didn't bother me as much as I think it bothered a lot of people. But I can fully admit it's better just being 2-dimensional. I need a new color palette too.
Yes, the new color palette's really great. And that is
that is where we are with Sailor Moon. Nowadays, in the days. What time is it?
We got 5 times.
Oh yeah! All right. Awesome. So does anybody have any
questions?
Comments?
Yes, we do.
So, very specific question.
Yes.
The good musicals, were they specifically done by a Takarazuka troupe? Is it actually Takarazuka is actually divided into
Yes, they were
Yes,
troops.
there's a flower troupe, there's a moon troupe, and certain ones tend to go towards the
Yeah.
sort of things that Sailor Moon had more notoriety.
Yeah, they actually were not. A lot of them are alumni of Takazuka troops. So yeah, but no, they're all it's a mixed bag of people.
Is this like an inspired dance movie where like a bunch of kids from different dance schools
Basically, yeah.
We were to be back when those original musicals hit, we were so happy to have them.
Oh my gosh,
We were so happy to have them.
Well, because that was like the ongoing Sailor Moon content you had from the end of the 90s anime until 2004 when they had the
We pretty much had Utena for a while, and that was pretty much it. There was a drought.
No, totally. Yes.
It's more like a comment, but would you say that the Viz Media English dubcast was much better than the one that they did before?
I would say it's much different than the one that they did before. What we have to appreciate about the original dub of Sailor Moon is that is what brought Sailor Moon to the level of popularity that it is in the US now, and all of the edits that they made to it for, like, we all look back on it now and we're like, oh, censorship! But at the time, we would have never been able to get it on TV.
Yeah, and we all figured it out anyway.
Yeah, it's true, it's true. I gotta put a Sailor Says segment in here the next time we use it.
I think at some point, somebody's going to bring this up at some point, the effect Sailor Moon had on fandom, not just anime fandom, but also on the comic book industry is incalculable.
Yeah.
Legitimately incalculable. The manga, Sailor Moon manga becoming popular because of the Sailor Moon cartoon becoming popular, helped create the boom in manga sales for the first time ever, which moved comic book sales out of comic book stores into Barnes & Noble, which moved the teenagers into Barnes & Noble, which moved the popularity of Mark. It's the whole reason that
just imagine the mountains in that awful 2012 movie where like the ocean just comes over the mountain and all the Tibetan monks are just staring at it. That's what it was.
It was 1 year between, there was Anime Week in Atlanta, and there was 1 year between approximately 15 women at an anime convention, and the next year it was almost 30% of the population of an anime convention were women, and all decades younger than every single guy. Like, to the point where the guy running security was, I don't know where the women's bathroom is. I don't know what to tell them. You have to figure that out right now. Someone's going to ask.
I've moderated for a bunch of the deep voice actors for Sailor Moon before, and to hear their stories about like the anime flight, because like they started getting asked to do conventions when that was happening, so they showed up thinking like, all right, I guess like a couple of people are gonna come see us, and then there was like a line out the door around the block of Sailor Moon cosplayers, and they were like, all those people are here to see us.
It was 1 year. It was everything in a year.
Yeah, so awesome.
It's amazing.
We do have to wrap things up here, guys, but feel free to come, talk to us out on the floor and stuff. Before we go, Taliesin, thank you so much. Taliesin, where can people find you on the internet?
You can find me at Executive Goth on Twitter or Executive Goth on the Instagram, or on Thursdays on Twitch at Geek and Sundry for the Critical Role. You can watch me play them.
Lola. Anywhere you find an Unwinona, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, at Unwinona, UNWINONA.
I'm Emma Fyffe. I can be found on the internet at my name, Emma Fyffe, EMMAFYFFE. Yeah, that's me. I do a bunch of stuff. Just follow me on Twitter. I tweet about it.
You can find me on Twitter at RealFeminerdity, and then you can find me on Instagram, Feminerdity, one word like share, FEMINERDITY, Feminerdity. Give me my blue ribbon. I won the spelling bee.
Also, make sure, guys, to check out our Sailor Moon podcast. If you enjoyed what you saw here today, you will enjoy the podcast. It is rated explicit on iTunes.
Yeah,
so
we like to swear.
Yeah, we keep it clean for
I swear.
But you can follow that on Twitter at L as in love, N as in Nancy, J as in justice, pod, first part of podcast. You can also find us on Facebook, Love and Justice, a serious Sailor Moon podcast. We're the most serious.
Yeah, really serious. We use serious very ironically.
Yes, and we're on the iTunes, we're on the Podbean, just look it up.
Yeah.
We love you all. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming. And be sure to stick around right now for an epic panel, Tales of the Extraordinary. It is a 1920s radio play featuring some of your favorite voice
Street Fighter franchise.
Yeah.
And thank you to our voluntold, a big hand for our voluntold.